Hi everybody, welcome to New Mexico is a Basketball State podcast. You know it, I know it, hosted by me, Russell Gurule. Now stay tuned for the next hot take. Okay everybody, let's talk about Section 7. Section 7 is a high school tournament that's very prestigious. I think it's going to be big time, and I think it's going to be copied all over the country. It was a great atmosphere. This is a tournament that is completely high school, and it was hosted by the Arizona Coaches Association. This was done not this weekend, last weekend, but it was done last weekend, I should say. And it was 12 courts all under one roof at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. This thing was incredible. I mean, it was great. You had college coaches there all over the place. You had 160 teams. Most of them were from California, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, Washington, Oregon. And then we had 4 from New Mexico: Las Cruces, Santa Fe, Sandia, and Volcano Vista. So they went down to Arizona to compete against the best in the West, basically, and in front of college coaches. And I got to tell you, it was awesome. It was just a great atmosphere. They were very professional there at Section 7, and got to give them a shout out. Definitely give them a shout out. And I think this is going to be a big thing. And we learned a lot about how to compete in what the rest of the country is doing, especially here on the western side of the United States. And it was, I can't stop saying how great it was. It was a great experience for all. I firmly believe that. And it was awesome to see all the college coaches there. It was the first time they actually got to get out there and watch high school kids play and start to recruit, because it's been about a year because we've been in COVID. And we saw a lot of college coaches. We saw, of course, Richard Pitino was there, New Mexico head coach Richard Pitino. UCLA's coach Mick Cronin, I believe Mark Adams, Texas Tech, was there. San Jose State, Fresno State, Brian Dutcher, head coach of San Diego State, was there. We saw assistant coaches from UTEP, New Mexico State, Western New Mexico was out there. Brent Owens of Eastern New Mexico made the trip from Portales to come out there and watch some players. So that was great to see. And there were so many different schools there. Oregon, USC. I believe I saw somebody from North Carolina there. And you can go on and on and on. GCU was there. And the tournament was consistent throughout the day, and everything ran really smooth, and it was amazing to see our kids out there playing in such an atmosphere, because I don't think we've done that ever, to be honest with you. I'd have to really ask around and find out if we've ever done anything like that at Section 7. So we learned a lot about what we need to do in this state. I talked to a few coaches, and we played against some teams that were used to the shot clock, especially California. And they were able to be a little bit more smooth on offense because of the shot clock, and there's a little bit more skill displayed. And we were also playing with a shot clock here at Section 7. It was a 35-second shot clock, and it was interesting. And there were a couple times where we didn't get a shot off, certain teams and things like that. But it showed us a lot, and it showed us that we need to improve our skill set a little bit. But it will definitely improve the game here in New Mexico. And probably the 4A and 5A would be a good starting point, in my opinion, on that. And also, we learned that we probably need to get bigger and stronger, get a little faster, because it's a numbers game, especially with California. One coach brought out an observation that they just have more kids. And that's true. We have a small population here in New Mexico, being, the fifth largest state land-wise, but 36 in population. Well, it's a numbers game, so we need, more kids competing, or we need to really get into skill development at a younger age. We need to get into strength and conditioning. That's where I think we can definitely improve. And Volcano Vista, and I'll start with the schools that were there. Volcano Vista did pretty good. They were very competitive. Jaquan Hill came out and definitely showed a lot of skill. Definitely got some good numbers up. Steve Alter, excuse me, I'm terrible with names sometimes. Alter came out and he showed what a big man can be and what he could be going into his junior year. He's going to be exciting, folks, and he received an offer from Western New Mexico, so that's a great thing there to see. That's one of the benefits of Section 7 is having the college coaches see you play in an environment in a team structure like that. Then we went on to, let's go on to Santa Fe. Santa Fe, Paul Lovato was very aggressive, very fast, and they did really well, Santa Fe. I apologize, I couldn't see them more. Had to leave early, and I wanted to see them more because they definitely were playing really well in this tournament, and they were exciting to see. And then we go on to Las Cruces. Now, Las Cruces with William Deuce Benjamin and Isaiah Carr were really competitive. They played some big California teams. And every game, they had a bunch of coaches watching them. I mean, they had the whole sideline filled with coaches watching them. And they played out. Rich Pitino definitely watched. And you saw San Diego State. Brian Dutra was watching. And all the others were watching. So that was a great thing to see, especially in that environment. And they did well. And got some exciting news. Isaiah Carr, he decided to commit to GCU, Grand Canyon University, a conference rival in New Mexico State. So I'm going to go off on a sidebar here. We'll go back to Section 7 in a little bit, but I'm going to go on a sidebar here. I'm amazed that New Mexico State passed on Isaiah Carr and he went to their conference rival. I mean, that surprises me because he's 6'11" and he's a great shot blocker, and everybody needs a shot blocker. I need a shot blocker. I need somebody to, to get something off the top shelf, and Isaiah Carr can definitely do that. I mean, he's going to close the lid on a bunch of Aggie shots for the next 4 years. I mean, it's amazing that, Isaiah Carr is just a couple miles down the road from the campus of New Mexico State University, and they let him get away. They let him get away, and I looked at the roster last year. You can't really see what's going on now, but yeah, he's the tallest. He would be the tallest guy on the New Mexico State roster, and I think he would have made a big difference for them. I mean, he's a shot blocker, and I'm going to make a prediction here. The Western Athletic Conference is where GCU plays, and so does New Mexico State, and some of you know that. I'm going to say that Isaiah Carr is going to be top 5 in shot blocking in that conference by the time he's done in 4 years. I'm going to say top 5. He's going to get in that top 5 in shot blocking. I'm going to go with it now. I'm going to predict it now. I mean, it's a year away before he steps on the floor at GCU, but I'm going to go with it. I'm definitely going to go with it. I'm expecting it, actually. And I could just imagine, the play-by-play call of, oh, wow, Isaiah Carr just blocked another Aggie shot. Can you imagine, Isaiah, if you're an Aggie fan and you're watching the Aggies play against GCU, and here's Isaiah Carr blocking another shot. Oh, he's got the rim closed. He's a fly swatter out there. He's going to be blocking Aggie shots for the next 4 years. And, I mean, too bad, Aggies, but, like I said in episode 4, he's, they got to look for local players. You got to get some local players. I'm going to keep harping on it. You got to get some local players for sure. It's too bad that they let him go. But congratulations to Carr, because I think it's a great environment with Brent Drew, head coach over there. And I think he's going to do some great things over there. And he might block some Lobos shots. Who knows? GCU might play UNM. I mean, they did beat him a couple years ago, about 6-7 years ago. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Now, William Deuce Benjamin, he's still out there. He's still available. I know Richard Pitino was watching. San Diego State was watching. There was a bunch of coaches watching, and he did pretty good out there. He was aggressive, and he definitely moved the ball, and he played like a point guard, and I think he's going to do some great things. And it's heating up right there for him as far as his offers. He's got New Mexico State. Okay, I give you that one, New Mexico State. You offered him. Good job. UTEP came out, and Joe Golding, the new head coach there, he really laid out the carpet. I mean, we've got William Deuce in a UTEP uniform. They really laid out the carpet for the red carpet for William Deuce. And so the Battle of I-10 heats up. Definitely in, El Paso and Las Cruces. That's going to be an interesting scene right there. That is definitely going to be interesting to watch for sure. So, but I want to get back to Section 7. So, kind of went off on some sidebars there just to talk about that because that was really interesting. So let's go to Sandia. Now Sandia played, and Eli Lovato did well, and he was aggressive, and he made some moves, and he turned a few heads. And Sean Johnson was definitely out there, definitely making some moves. And I noticed Brent Owens of Eastern New Mexico was watching him, so we might see something there. And we'll see what happens the rest of this summer with Section 7. We'll see how this thing plays out, because I think it was a big leap for New Mexico schools. And I would like to see more schools sign up next year. We only had 4 this year, but I would love to see more schools definitely compete in Section 7. I just think it's going to be a great thing. It's close by. And I think it will be a way to really get some exposure for our kids. I'd like to see schools like Cleveland go out there and compete. El Dorado, La Cueva, all those schools. I'd like to see Exodus Ayers and those guys out there. Or, Antone Avila of Cleveland out there playing. And Trisco. I'd like to see them because they can definitely compete at Section 7. And I think it's good competition. It would be like District 1, Unser Road, every game for a weekend. It would be awesome. I hope you guys, you coaches that are out there that watch and this and that, I hope you consider going out there to Section 7. It's a team thing. It's a good bonding thing. It's a good chemistry thing. And it's a great environment. And it's a special memory because, frankly, most people are never going to play in a stadium like State Farm Stadium, a dome stadium, 65,000 seat stadium like that, where an NFL team plays. That's mainly for Final Fours, which in fact, State Farm Stadium is going to be the host of the 2024 Final Four. So that in itself is a special thing. And it's just an awesome experience to play in a facility like that, on those courts, and to have all those coaches watching on the sideline in those comfy chairs taking notes about how well you're doing. Because all kinds of things start happening. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, at the start of this take, UCLA's Mick Cronin was there. He was watching things. You had Brian Dutra, I mentioned him several times, of course. Mark Adams, Texas Tech. You had Richard Pitino there. His whole staff was there. And they were roaming around watching everything. New Mexico State was there. UTEP, San Jose State, Fresno State, Oregon, USC. I mean, I'm just going off the top of my head the teams I saw. I mean, I also saw many, smaller colleges, NCAA Division II colleges, things of that nature. I saw many of those people there too. So there's definitely a lot of eyes on those games, and it's a great environment. And I really encourage New Mexico teams to go out there. I'd love to see Hobbs or Roswell or Clovis or Farmington to go out there, or more Las Cruces teams. This thing is special, and I think it's going to take off. I think it's from what I understand, it's a really unique thing, and it's going to be the 3rd year next year. They're going to have it next year, about this time next year. So think about it. Think about it. because it's a great thing. As far as recruiting is concerned, we definitely had some action after this tournament. Isaiah Carr committed. He went to GCU Division I. There's our first one right there. William Deuce Benjamin may have been getting some more offers after this tournament. Jaquan Hill, Sean Alter was able to get a Western New Mexico offer. I mean, the sky's the limit. There were some others. Jeff Malone. There was Sean Johnson, who's probably going to start getting some offers now because he had more eyes on him. Eli Lovato, all these players, Paul Lovato of Santa Fe, all these players and some others that were playing out there. So this is definitely a good thing for New Mexico. It's definitely something to check out, other than just going, the AAU route with both our AAU programs. This is something that you can add to the summer. And this is a great team bonding experience. So I ask that you consider it. Just consider it. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to go on to my next take. I think we're going to talk about COVID just a tad. Got a little bit of a rant on that. Maybe you're tired of hearing it. I'm kind of tired of talking about it, but I still got a rant on it. And I'm going to talk maybe a little bit more Lobos, maybe some more Aggies on this recruiting thing, because I'm still kind of not over that. So stay tuned for the next take. All right? Hi everybody. Okay, we're back. Now I was talking about Section 7 on the last take, and I mentioned COVID because apparently we're still doing some masks with the athletes and things like that, and I'm kind of tired of it. And the pandemic is over. I believe it's over. Maybe you don't. I do. And I think there's enough evidence to suggest that it is over. So that's one thing that I would like to just get out there, is that this thing's pretty much over and now it's just politics to me. So that's what I wanted to get out there on that. So like I said, I was going to talk about some Lobo basketball a little bit. It's I don't know. I'm still not quite excited. I mean, I talked about it in episode 4, and now we're in episode 5, of course. I'm still not really excited about Lobo basketball. And I feel like our kids are being ignored. I get that feeling. I get that. I don't know. It's just like, okay. I mean, I see Joe Golding over at UTEP, and he's already on the ball trying to get kids in New Mexico. And I think that's a positive. I really do. I wish Chris Jans would do a little bit more, because I'm still, I got to go back to my rant about Isaiah Carr. I mean, I'm amazed that they would let Isaiah Carr, a 6'11" shot blocker, right there in their own backyard, a couple miles away from campus, like I said in the other day, they let him get away. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. UNM too. I mean, what's the deal? What's the deal? That's how I kind of feel about it. Maybe there's more to it, but that's kind of how I feel about it. It's like, it seems like they're getting ignored. But I got to give a shout out to Brent Owens of Eastern New Mexico University for coming all the way out there to Section 7 and watching these kids play. I thought that was great. And he seems to be more active and involved in New Mexico kids, because that's how you build programs. Michael Dominguez at New Mexico Highlands does a great job. His whole roster is practically New Mexico kids, and he gets very talented ones over there. Owen Olney, Malik Barton, all these different, Anton Lovato, I believe, from Santa Fe was one that he got earlier. And he's just out there, and he's always recruiting New Mexico kids, and I think that's great. And I'd like to see more of it. And I'm not saying recruit them because they're from New Mexico. I'm just saying, the proof is in the pudding. Guys like UTEP, guys like GCU want some of our kids. I mean, that's the proof right there. And for us, as taxpayers, we pay to these universities. We pay for these buildings. We pay their salaries. They are public universities. And essentially, they're for education. That's why they put student in front of athlete. And it kind of annoys me that they don't really seriously look at New Mexico kids. Because you look through history, it seems like UNM has all but ignored New Mexico kids throughout the decades. There was a lot of kids that they let escape to other places. We've had kids from here, from Albuquerque, sign with Wake Forest, Arizona State back in the day, or Duke, Arizona. We let really good ones get away. We really do. I think the one that we really did do a good job on was Kenny Thomas, but in a way he wasn't from here either. But it worked out. And that's the frustrating thing about the whole issue, is that you got to build a program where people are invested. I think Rocky Long was right about that. He built a program with New Mexico kids, but, when it came to the big game and it's time to win, Rocky choked. Okay, I said it. I know that's going to upset some people, but Rocky choked, okay? But people still want to canonize him as a saint. But that's another story. If Lobo basketball did that same method, and Danny Gonzalez is doing that now, but if Lobo basketball looked more to New Mexico kids, I think they could really grow something, because there's an investment there. There's a loyalty there. There's going to be more of a desire to do well there. I mean, I'm not discounting the ones that are there now that are from out of state. But what I am saying is that New Mexico kids have grown up with these universities. Their parents pay taxes which go to these universities. There's more of an investment to do well there. Okay? And here's another thing. If you recruit local players, the chances of them transferring probably are going to be a little bit less than you getting somebody from out of state. That's one way I see it. I'm sure there's some studies, may not be very scientific, but it seems like common sense to me that there would be less transfer possibilities, and that's the thing I'm getting at. And I would like to see something change somehow, some way. Paul Weir did a really good job, and I may have picked on him too hard, but he did a good job of getting New Mexico kids, or at least acknowledging them. That was one thing. Richard Pitino, the jury's still out. The jury is still out. I mean, you look at last year, on December 25th, Christmas Day, Joe Linder of Wyoming offered Taryn Dickey, Volcano Vista star, and Taryn Dickey played last year for Wyoming, another conference member of UNM, another conference rival. So they recognized Taryn Dickey's talents. We let Daraji Agabosi get away, and he's in D1 now, another great talent. We keep letting these kids get away. Tristan Moore, I mean, we can go on and on. There's a lot of talent here that is being unrecognized. And that's one reason why on my first take, I really encourage high school coaches out there to get your kids to Section 7 so that they can be seen by college coaches. But not only that, but to play against some good, strong competition in the summer, and it builds chemistry. I really believe it does, especially when you got to go stay at the Holiday Inn and you have to bond. And I think that's a great thing, and that's another evolution, to New Mexico basketball getting better and better. And that's where I'm at on all of that for right now. And right now I'm still harping at New Mexico and New Mexico State, because I still can't believe that you let Isaiah Carr go to GCU. I can't believe it. I mean, a 6'11" shot blocker like that, and he's going to be top 5 in the WAC by the time it's said and done. He's going to be top 5 in the WAC. Mark my words. Okay. I mean, you still got Jose Murillo out there, a big man, a strong man, one who works really hard, who could change things. And I think he can play for one of you guys. I mean, just consider it. I know you'll probably do the lottery scholarship walk-on thing. I get that. Okay, fine. You know, kind of degrading to me. But anyways, it would be nice to see you, you know, recognize New Mexico kids. And then, you know, as far as New Mexico is concerned, as far as the youth development, that's one thing we need to work on, for sure. You know, I guess it goes both ways. And that's definitely something to work on, for sure. So, with all of that being said, the summer is going strong. I'm going to head out, check out some more AAU ball, see how everybody's doing. We still got a lot of basketball to play this summer. I think next year is going to be awesome. We've got some great talent going on, and I think we're going to have a really great season. I really do. I think we're going to get back to normal. Hopefully, as long as our governor stops believing that it's a pandemic for other reasons, because this COVID thing is over, okay? It is over. And it's time to take the mask off. I mean, they're already off. Whether you're vaccinated or not, it doesn't matter. This thing's over, okay? Delta variant, whatever. It does not, sorry, not buying it. Not buying it. That's where I'm at on that. Because I want to point out some things, too, about the contrast between Phoenix and Albuquerque. What I saw. First, I saw hardly any mask. In fact, it felt weird if you put one on, to be honest with you, in Phoenix. It really did. It felt like freedom. It really did. I'll be honest with you. It felt like freedom compared to Albuquerque at times. I also noticed there was less homeless people. I had to look for homeless people. I don't think I saw one homeless person. I know there is some, okay? Don't get me wrong. Phoenix is 1.5 million people. I'm sure there's homeless people. But I didn't really see them, okay? I really didn't. But here in Albuquerque, I did. So there's a lot that we need to work on, especially APS. There's issues there, too. I mean, all over the place, we really need to work on a lot of things. And that's the facts. Nothing negative about that. You know, there's nothing negative about that, because the fact of the matter is things need to be cleaned up. If there's oil on the floor, if there's water on the floor, if there's anything on the floor that's not supposed to be on the floor, you clean it up. And that's the situation here in New Mexico. We got to clean a lot of things up. And I also encourage people out there to really get involved with high school athletics, really get involved with the school boards, get involved with the school districts, volunteer, contribute some way, a little bit of time, or support, and hold people accountable. That's what I encourage. And other than that, I think we have something that could be really good next season. And I'm just kind of at a loss for words, really. I'm searching for words right now, because Section 7 was incredible. I still got so many pics to post that came out really well. And I just think it was a great experience. I really, again, I know I'm repeating myself. I encourage all of you high school coaches out there to get your teams out there to Section 7 next season. I am praying for 10, at least 10 teams next year. I would love to see 10 teams next year. And I think we can do it. I really do. And I encourage you guys to get out there and do it, because it is so beneficial. I would like to see what happens and how well the ones that did go out there, how well they do next season. Because I think there's going to be a lot of benefit from this. From, you know, playing against teams with the shot clock and things of that nature, the information that was gathered, the realization of getting more strength, things of that nature. All these different things that came into play just because we went out there as a state and represented. So, with that being said, I thank you for watching. I thank you for playing. This has been great. Keep playing hard, and you guys have a great night.